And before we get into it, I just want to read a science note. This appeared about 10 years ago or 12 in the Rexburg paper here. A note that was written to Cleo Klinger from Dr. Robert Smith of the Geology Department of the University of Utah. And it says, "Congratulations, Cleo. An 80th birthday is a great cause for a happy celebration. It has come to my attention as far back as the 1950s, you were predicting a future eruption of the Yellowstone caldera. You were on track that the Yellowstone volcanic system is indeed active and there is a possibility for future eruptions. The University of Utah maintains a monitoring network for earthquakes and ground deformation at Yellowstone that can provide warning of impending volcanic activity." Well, as I say, that came out, and at the time my Aunt Cleo made that prediction, everybody thought she was crazy. So, with that, I'll let the Ron Riels introduce our song.
In 1949, we took a little trip out to Yellowstone Park to explore it again. We took a little bacon and we took a little beans, and we all camped out along the Yellowstone streams. Aunt Cleo was our guide and she sure was smart. She knowed all about the Yellowstone Park. She knowed about geysers and she sure knowed a lot about cooking beans in a pressure cooker pot.
Aunt Cleo predicted way back then, way back in the 50s, that Yellowstone Park was going to blow. Yellowstone, she said, has a big old fire raging underneath below, and when the pressure builds up, she's bound to blow. Well, the years passed after a Yellowstone trip, and I registered for a geology class to see if I could get the hang of it. I told them right there in class, Yellowstone's bound to blow because there's a big old fire raging down there below. Well, the professor wanted to know, where did you learn that from? Well, I told him from my Aunt Cleo out on her Yellowstone run. Well, I suppose, he said sarcastically, your aunt holds a degree in the science of geology and geothermal activity. I said, I reckon not, but she's awful smart and she knows it's powerful hot underneath Yellowstone Park. And just like a pot of beans cooking in a pressure cooker pot, she'll bust loose at the seams and blow her top when she gets too hot.
Well, she knowed about geysers and she sure knowed a lot about cooking beans in a pressure cooker pot. The pressure builds up and beans begin to swell. The top pops off and blows them all the well. Like pressure from steam in a pressure cooker pot. She'll bust loose at the seams and blow her top.
He said, well, I'm just as sure as I can be. Your aunt is a smart lady when it comes to beans and cookery. But when it comes to geology and thermal activity, tell your aunt for me she's crazy. Her theory is wrong and patently absurd. And if you continue to go along, then you're dumber than a horse turd. Well, I didn't know what patently absurd was for sure, but I was vaguely familiar with horse turd. So I sat back down with not another word, for now I was a class clown, patently absurd and dumber than a horse turd. Well, I ran into the old professor a year or two after that. He was coming my way. He come running up to me with these words to say, tell your Aunt Cleo I owe her an apology. She was right, you see, about Yellowstone geology. We now know from satellite photography, Yellowstone has a history of volcanic activity and volcanology. Yellowstone has blown before and will do so again. With this, we now know it's just a matter of when. She was the only one that had it right all along. And us that should have known, well, we had it all wrong.
Well, she knowed about Kaisers and she sure knowed a lot about cooking beans in a pressure cooker pot. Pressure builds up and beans begin to swell. The top pops off and blows them all the well. Like pressure from steam in a pressure cooker pot. She'll bust loose at the seams and blow her top.
Thank you, folks. And